Sage Wanderer here. I guess I'm live. I tried earlier today to do a live stream. I was in a better position to do the live stream earlier today. I had my robe and everything and my coffee, and I was ready to do this live stream. And then a bunch of people showed up, and something went haywire, and my computer crashed, and I had to restart it, and it took like an hour. But here I am. Check out my Sage Wanderer coffee cup here. God bless the new republic. This one's shot. SW there for Sage Wanderer. And you'll notice my little 9-star bullet flag. That's kind of become a thing for me. Good morning, Jay. Good to see you. Tried this earlier today and to no avail. I had a better turnout earlier in the morning, but we're just going to see who's here. The verdict should be in today. I've been messing with this computer. It may have already come in. Let me know in the comments over here if any of you, in the chat over here, if any of you have heard anything. But what's up, Jeff? Good to see you, CJ. How's the live stream? Is it working okay? Is it glitchy or can y'all see me? Check out my Sage Wanderer coffee cup. Kind of cool. I got a t-shirt too. I had to buy mine too, right? Just like everybody else. Teespring. But yeah, thanks, CJ. Seems good. Right on. So yeah, the verdict on Rittenhouse. I get that all confused. Anyway, Kyle Rittenhouse. His verdict is coming in today. If y'all been following the trial at all, it seems to me like the prosecution just bungled everything, right? Plus, it's obvious to anybody who saw the video in its unedited full length that Rittenhouse was doing right. He handled himself correctly. Now, was it stupid to leave the group you were with to run out amongst Antifa and all the protesters and rioters? No, I'd say the kid exercised some bad judgment leading up to that. Doesn't change the facts that once he was under attack, and he clearly was under attack, he handled himself well. And it was self-defense all the way. He is going to be acquitted. If he's not acquitted, then the fix is in. It appears the judge is right-minded and, correct in his assertion and everything that's going on and how he has handled himself. He's proven to be like old school. I understand he's a liberal, but he's like an old school kind of liberal, not a modern progressive communist who makes up things out of clear blue sky and points guns at people in the jury, apparently. Did y'all see that? Where the prosecutor takes the blooded AR-15 that killed these two men. And even after what happened with, what's his name? The guy that accidentally shot somebody, put his name over there. I don't say names a lot of times for the algorithms. I pretend to be absent-minded about them. But an actor recently shot somebody apparently on camera, I'm understanding. I haven't dug too deep into that. But with the prop gun that wasn't a prop gun, that was loaded. Some are saying it was premeditated murder, and the whole accidental prop gun thing is something right out of Agatha Christie novel. Let's switch it out because there was a real hit that they wanted to happen with the Alec Baldwin. Thank you. Oh, it's fall here, and everything's fallen. If you can see, the trees have been stripped out behind me. The wind is gusting, and I'm getting covered up in leaves. They're going to probably even fall over on me here at some point. So it's fall here. But yeah, even after that, this prosecutor with that in the news, with the shooting on the movie set with the prop gun in the news, he points the rifle in question at the jury and puts his finger on the trigger. There's some stuff wrong with the world. That was kind of a stupid move. It's almost like this guy's trying to get a mistrial. This prosecutor in this case. Yeah. First rule of gun handling is never point a weapon, whether you think it's loaded or not, whether you think it's real or not. Never point a weapon at somebody unless you intend to shoot them. If you just never do that, nobody gets accidentally shot. Being accidentally shot comes from pointing a gun at somebody when you should never do that unless you intended to shoot him. It's why if I was on a jury, I'm like, well, he pointed the gun at him. He must have intended to shoot him, him or her. Back to the Baldwin thing, but you got that fresh on here, and then this prosecutor is just, his witnesses in the Kyle case, have the Kenosha case. His witnesses have backpedaled, they backtracked, they've admitted to lying. You know, this one guy who got shot in the bicep, he lied up one side and down the other in another civil case where he's suing the city of Kenosha for like $10 million. And in that, he left out all this stuff, like the fact that he was carrying a weapon illegally and an illegal possessor of the weapon in his lawsuit. That came out. I mean, I don't see how you can buy the narrative at all when the defense has just shredded the narrative that he, you know, that Kyle went down there looking for trouble, carried a gun across state lines, not true, was illegal possessor of a gun, not true. And the judges ruled on that. And, you know, what's about to happen now is he's going to be acquitted. I'm just telling you, it's probably going to happen today. It may take them a little while. If I was on the jury, it'd just be in and out. That's a clear-cut case of self-defense. If that's not self-defense, then arming yourself and going into a conflict is basically become illegal. That if you defend yourself because you armed yourself and went into conflict, that makes you not eligible for self-defense. If they tried it, if this goes any other way than acquittal, that's the takeaway for me. Is that you might as well not go down there or hide in the shadows and do it from secret and go ahead and do the thing they're going to accuse you of anyway. You know, they just kind of back you into a corner. We're going to burn the town. If you come down there and defend yourself, you'll go to prison. That's the takeaway if Rittenhouse is actually, yeah, our right to self-defense is on trial. Logical. Okay, man, you're absolutely right. Good to see you, Bull Rush Bear. Red and black are starting their ride, brother. I don't know what that means. Red and black are MK Ultra Illuminati trigger colors. Is that what we're talking about? Is that code for don't? I will say this. I really feel like if acquittal happens, and I believe it's going to, that you're going to see a new rash of city burnings and riots, not just in Kenosha, but around the country. What's up, Amy? Long time no see. So, yeah, we're talking about the Kenosha trial. I also just have to blather on about myself. I mean, it is the Sage Wanderer channel. So, especially since Amy from Texas is here, she knows a lot of my personal stuff and my past and history and who I am. There's a lot of my great followers here. Bull Rush Bear, by whatever, any name you pick. He's had a couple of names, but right on, my kind of people. Not to leave anybody out. It's just a lot of people in here have been with me for a long time. But I had a crazy spring and summer. You heard me talk about that. I mean, gosh, there was romance, travel, a fight, karaoke. What else you want when you're 53, right? That's about as crazy and wild as I get anymore, right? But it ended up with me and Catherine, a viewer, together as a couple. And that's been a rodeo. Won't lie to you. You know, she came out here. We connected. We decided to become a couple, and we've made commitments to be together forever. And, you know, it's not casual. It's as serious as it gets. And when we did the math and realized that her stuff in storage in California had to be dealt with. Hey, what's up, Steven? Good to see you, my friend. But yeah, when we decided that stuff had to be dealt with, we planned a trip to go back there and make it coincide with her high school reunion. So she kind of wanted to take me to her high school reunion and show me off. I don't mind that. I'll be your beefcake day. And, you know, she's older than me, but looks younger than me. And if I told you her age, I don't know if I have mentioned her age, but she's a bit older than me, and outwalks me, outruns me, outworks me. The only thing is she does sleep more than me, but I just think that's a girl thing. I think that just women are just a me thing. I say I always spend my time watching women sleep. I used to think it was just older women, and then I dated a very young woman and realized, nope, I spent most of the time watching her sleep too. But I'm a bit of an insomniac. Jeff says they're about to turn this into a civil war on TV. Yeah, that's coming. But I'm just kind of meandering around different topics, just hanging out, having some coffee. Did y'all see my coffee cups? You need to check out the Teespring store. I got a design I'd love to see just take off, because everybody knows about the Let's Go Brandon and what that really means. And I got some t-shirts that say "Let's Go Brandon" and the horse you rode in on, which I think if you put that together is pretty funny. To me, that's very funny, and much more stuff that's on the edge of their what they know is what's up. Amy said I inspired her, and she's to lose weight, and she's lost 45 pounds. Y'all give it up for Amy from Texas. Right on. Well, I put on 25 pounds, if you can't tell, but it was not the usual way, right? I got down to 163. You'll see me in some of those videos where me and Catherine just got together, or right before she got together, after the fight, because I lost more weight after that. Big part of it was I was fasting for Susie, trying to help her overcome her addiction and her issues in her life. And I do believe in fasting, and I don't advertise it when I do, but I fasted my way down to 163 pounds. And at the time that I met Catherine and Susie and my sister all kind of were in agreement that I did not look well at that lower weight, and I didn't look like me. So I put on intentionally about 23 pounds, 22 pounds. I'm at 185 right now. 27 pounds, I guess. I don't know. Don't make me do the math. I'm still drinking coffee. How many of y'all got your own Sage Wonder or coffee cup? One of my favorite ones, I got some favorite designs, but one of them is, and you can go to my Teespring store and check those out. But yeah, I like the one that says "Fighting tyranny is a family tradition." That's one thing that Catherine did for me that I just I can't reiterate enough, is that she absolutely showed me who I am. And it's just gotten more since I talked about it last. Like, my history and lineage on both sides of my family is just one war hero after another, or revolutionary, game-changing preachers and theologians and heads of Christian universities. My lineage goes back multiple generations of Oxford deans. Like, we just had, my family past had control of Oxford for a good while it was still kind of a Christian university. Right on. So yeah, the demonization of the Armalite rifle. Well, I will tell you this, from the last probably the last 25 years, they've been trying to demonize this rifle, but all it's done is make it the hands down most prolific firearm in the history of firearms. That the AR-15 design and offsprings and side shoots and all the different variants, when you compile those all together, they represent the vast majority of firearms now. And when I was a kid, you could probably say deer rifles were the most common firearm, or lever actions. But the American rifle, AR-15, the American rifle is what I think. That I know it stands for Armalite, the original designer of that stoner design of semi-automatic rifle. But in reality, I'd like to change it to AR to be American rifle. There's nothing more American than an AR. And so either the Second Amendment is a thing or it's not, right? But all of this talk about gun control and banning the AR has caused people to buy it. I finally own one now, if you want to know the truth. I've been resistant. I've been an AK guy, but I recently traded one of my AKs for a solid AR and some magazines, just so that I have that platform, and I'm learning to use it, getting it all tricked out, working on that as well. But yeah, Civil War's coming. You should be doing whatever you have to do to prepare for it. Like, my life is filled a lot with just tending to this homestead. And at one time I had 28 chickens. I'm down 4 laying hens because I got a raccoon was getting in my chicken prison. And I lost a hen a night and all my eggs for 4 days until I heard him in there. And I went in the chicken pen with one of my little pocket pistols, which the one I'm carrying right now is the SIG P365 tac pack. And so it's got the skateboard tape built into the stippling. It's got the 3-dot night sights, and yeah, it's a little storming machine. And I just went out there because I thought a human was getting in my chicken pen, and I caught a coon in my hen house, and I shot him. He was hiding in a corner, and I shot him almost arm's reach. And then he charged me, and I surprised myself how I was able to shoot, move, jump back in a J hook, just like I've trained to deal with a charging human, and lay lead into that little dude and end his chicken stealing career right there. So, and then I found out where he was getting into and fixed that. What's up? Let's see here. Yeah, Steven, even Steven, who's like the ultimate AK guy, Steven Turner, he's got an AK, I mean an AR as well, a couple of them. So Nordicus says that he has a feeling if Kyle is found not guilty, that Antifa might try to assassinate him or encourage, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I figure, hey, there's a price on my head, I've been told, and anybody who does what we do. This is why, I don't go around broadcasting my real name. And it's why Tim Pool lives in a compound surrounded by firearms and armed guards. And so does AJ, Alex Jones. I mean, pretty much everybody in this business is either dropped out of fear or intimidation, or you're like me, you're a Billy Badass and you're begging them to come at you. And you just bring it, and you just go around ready, cocked and locked, loaded all the time, ready for what comes at you. And there's a few of us out there, other guys that live out on compounds, like I don't even name, a lot of prepper guys aren't lumped into our culture war stuff. But yeah, to say that if Rittenhouse gets out and gets off from this, that there'll be a price on his head. Absolutely. Yeah, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. It's not just about culture, cancel culture. Assassinations have been going on. They're going to continue to go on. People are being targeted in various ways. And I would say that when Rittenhouse gets, when he gets not but acquitted rather of these charges, that his family will probably have to relocate, move, change their name, right? Pick up a pseudonym like me, or just drop off. I mean, that face of his is so distinctive. He looks like his mother. And, there aren't not a whole lot of guys that look like Kyle Rittenhouse. Like he better grow a beard. I mean, it's sad that that's where we're at. But, so Verified Believer believes in the Bill Hicks thing. You should watch my very first video ever called "What If Alex Jones is Bill Hicks? It's called "Why Would Bill Hicks Become Alex Jones?" That's my first video I ever made. It's not very good. I'm in a robe, obviously. Let's see what else y'all are saying here. A lot of talk about the AK versus the AR. Didn't mean to get that started. You want to talk about Glocks versus 1911s? We can get real fight started. How about Ford versus Chevy? Some things you just don't bring up at parties, right? So let's see here. Don't let exercise your right for self-defense when necessary. Well, there's an old saying amongst us gunnies, and I'm not saying I was a gunny in the military. I'm just saying there's a group of men in the world that are just into guns, and they practice with them, and they train with them, and they try to be the best with them. And I consider myself in that group, even though I'm aging. I just picked up this new SIG P230 or 365, threw a milk jug out, landed about 10 yards away. First time to handle the gun, pulled it from concealment, put 4 in a circle that big, right where I was aiming. Still got it, even with a brand new gun. But I do love the little SIG. I'm just telling you, it fits me. Yeah, Lance Corporal veteran, thanks for coming back. You were here at the failed attempt earlier today at a live stream. But he says National Guard in multiple cities and states activated and on standby. That's what I'm hearing too. That's what's being reported, and rightfully so, because I think we're just going to be in for a weekend of hell, more than likely. Just brace for this weekend. And it'll probably bleed over into the holiday week, as more people will have time off from work to do this sort of thing, to forget about the turkey and family and football. Let's go down and burn some stuff. Yay! Have you seen my Sage Wanderer coffee cup? That's right. I become a coffee cup and t-shirt salesman via Teespring. You have to come check out some of my designs are pretty controversial. I got a coffee cup with a picture of a jab on it that says, "You can't make me take it." So you should probably check that out if you want to make your stand on that topic. That's another thing that, you can't talk about, and I can talk about in code here, but You understand, young people, old people, little kids who submit to this, you know what, that we were just talking about, are dropping like flies, man. Look at the statistics. I won't even quote them. Just go look at the death statistics amongst the accidentated, the recipients of pre-described concoction. Yeah, heart attacks, strokes in young people, to the point where they're putting up billboards now warning you to get your kids checked for possible stroke symptoms. And it says kids get strokes too. Since when? Since when do kids get strokes too? Well, I guess it's a new world. I don't know if I got you guys on slow or what here, if I'm just getting top comments or what. Hey, if you guys want to help support the channel, if you guys want to help continuing what I'm doing here and keeping me going, run by this Teespring store, drop me a thank you with the you can just hit the little $sign down there and tip me if you like what's going on. Thank you for all that have helped me. It's awesome. Thanks to all of you that have purchased coffee cups. I kind of got a new job now, so I don't have a lot of time to spend on the channel. Me and Catherine are picking and not picking, but picking, like pickers. We kind of both figured out that between what she knows and what I know, we pretty much know what everything's worth. And like, it's a good time to get into that right now in the resale market. So we've been doing a lot of that. We've liquidated a couple of estates already. So Bull Rush says most of his family is you-know-whatted. They took the you-know-what, and they're mostly okay. I believe this, and I've said this from the beginning, that this virus we're dealing with is actually a bioweapon. You can go back to pretty much March 2020, February 2020. I'm saying this on this channel, that this is a bioweapon released intentionally, and it's in concert with the communists in China and the communists in our own government, if you want to call it the deep state. They released it on us on January 20th at Richmond, Virginia, at what is never talked about, but I believe to be the biggest militia muster in the history of militias. That everybody there was there to die. We didn't come there to protest. We come to be killed for the Second Amendment if they felt it necessary. And that scared the cremola out of them, right? That just scared the cannoli right out of them. And so they released this thing on us, and it's been on ever since. If you want to go back as a historical point of view, it all started on January 2020 in Richmond, Virginia, as far as I'm concerned. And I was there. And, hey, they gave it to me early, so I've been immune ever since. Like, I just don't get sick from this. I go wherever I want, do whatever I want. They had me in, I went to Golden Corral, never go there, but we were feeling like eating, and we hadn't seen one in a while, and we were in another town, so we went in to do the Golden Corral here in Oklahoma. And they got these stations where you got to put on a glove, and they tell you only one glove. You got to put on the Michael Jackson glove before you can touch the utensil. What do you think I did? I just acted like it was before all of this. I'm like a guy I've seen recently interviewed that said, Ovid K is over. It's over. This thing is done. We're all headed towards herd immunity, and everybody, all this panic and stuff is malarkey. So Lance Corporal's got actually a very good theory that's crossed my mind before. Lance Corporal veteran here. During this whole case, the prosecutors looked like they're trying to throw the case and put the blame on the judge and give a narrative to spur the mob that the system failed, but the judge wouldn't do it. So, I think that they're just going to spin no matter what you do. I mean, if you've ever been in an argument with somebody that's demonized and you try to use logic, if you can step out of the argument, calm down and cool down, because it can infuriate you, let me tell you. But when you're talking to it directly to a demon, and as an exorcist, I know when that happens, and I'm like, okay, I'm talking to a devil right now. I get it, right? And I kind of step out of the conversation. But they'll twist anything you say into an insult. They'll twist anything you say into a lie. They'll accuse you of lying. They'll accuse you of this and that. They'll go after you personally. There are no boundaries. They'll do a kitchen sink argument where they just pull everything in, and they'll do anything to avoid the actual argument, right? And it's all designed to spin it. They'll try anything to change the art. This is the way leftists are, because they're demonized. These people, these prosecutors, they're all demonized. Either they're sold to the devil directly to get to where they're at, or they just sacrifice their soul to the almighty dollar so long ago that devils have taken up habitation in them. And listening to those guys, they make no more sense than when I'm trying to talk to somebody who's demonized. It's circular logic. They just spin everything around on you. It makes your head spin. It infuriates you. It doesn't make sense. It's illogical. They just keep doing that till you give up. That's till you run away, till they get out of whatever they're trying to pull off. You know what I mean? Till the deception is complete. Watching these people on video is going to be very different than the jury's experience, because I will tell you this: when that kind of circular double talk, when that kind of deception and lies are all webbed together and weaved together in a way that just on its surface doesn't make sense to you, and it can make your head spin and suddenly start doubting your own judgment. Maybe he's right. Maybe I don't understand all the details. So in person, you've got that demonic deception coming from this prosecutor and these people behind this prosecution and these people behind this communist side of our government. I'm just letting it all fly, ain't I? These people, they can have a different effect on a human being when they're in person than you and I on video. On video, this prosecution just looks like a total, just foobar from top to bottom, right? Just foobar, you know, forget snafu, straight to foobar. Let's see here. So Honda was saying people were getting sick in November 2019. I think it was released in stages. I think it's also not likely the same virus as other things are being released. The variant. Yeah, Catherine's saying the hospitals are full of all kinds of people that are sick, but not with COVID. And I think those people are amongst the vaccinated. What I understand is that these vaccinated people's immune system goes straight down the toilet. Honest man did not know I was an exorcist. Yes, and I've been back at it lately. Let's talk about that for a minute. That wasn't in the headline. Let's talk about exorcism for a minute, because I've been actively performing exorcisms nonstop all summer. Just, I had one session lasted 5 days. So, what's going on is, I got all this interference on my computer. If you look around a little bit, you'll know that there's been a red alert going out amongst all exorcists, whether you're like me, the kind of lone devil fighter, or you're a Catholic priest who is at high ranking in the exorcist order. There's an order of exorcists that kind of don't answer to anybody but each other. They're the point of the spear in demonic combat. And they've been around since the beginning of the Catholic Church. They're somewhat untouched by everything around it. They're a cult inside a cult. All right. And, but even guys at that high level of this, with all of that inside knowledge, right down to the street level guy like me, are saying there's more demon activity than I ever seen in my life, that I can't hardly have a conversation with somebody anymore because they're so demonized. They just go on the attack. And unless I've started to believe that when all of this started, if you didn't know Jesus as your personal savior, or at least you hadn't at some point in your past committed yourself to God, even if I'm dealing with people who hadn't been in church, thought about God, thought about Jesus or spiritual things for years, are being pulled back to God because they're seeing all the insanity. And every one of those people that are kind of like pulling themselves out of the system of paganism and hedonism and whatever else they were doing can all say, yeah, but when I was 13, I went down to the altar at that little Baptist church and I cried my heart out and God touched me. And ever since then, I pray when I need peace or I need help, right? I pray. And those are the people that God's sending me to. And a lot of them are either oppressed by demons or literally, don't give me that demons can't cross the bloodline routine. You show me some spiritual evidence of that, either anecdotal or scriptural. Otherwise, hush, because you don't know what you're talking about. Demon fighters been known all along. I tell you what, even as a person who walks into it, knowing who I am, knowing my calling, knowing that I got this track record of demon smashing, I'll walk into a deal like that and I'll be lucky to get out if something doesn't jump on me. And then I got to do some self-deliverance to get it off of me. So don't talk about the bloodline, right? You just don't know what you're talking about. Hell is empty. All the demons are here. Actually, hell's full of lawyers. Didn't anybody tell you that? Hell's mostly full of lawyers and preachers, I understand. Yeah, evil's making its play. They want to take as many as they can. See, I've almost become a Calvinist, and maybe it's because God isn't calling me to these heathens that are participating in this crud. He's calling me to the people who I see along the sidelines, whose all of their friends have just gone over to the dark side, and it's like The Stand. If you ever saw the movie The Stand, the Stephen King book, or ever read it, it's this thick. Um, the new remake with Whoopi Goldberg, the old one is cheesy, but it tells the story better. But there's this moment during the separation of the sheep and goats, the good and evil separates in this book, and I believe that's how the end times happens. The good and the evil separate into opposing sides for a final war. And in the storyline in the movie The Stand, there's this moment where these people find themselves surrounded by evil people. And they're like, I'm really not like them. And I want to go with them because they're all my friends, but I have to go to this other place where I know I'm being called to, where there's these good people, because really in my heart, I'm not like that. And in some ways, that's kind of a Calvinistic view of the elect, that God has sent me for the elect. And you got all these theories about what the elect is. I just know God specifically sets me on people. There are people who have made a commitment to God in the past, but haven't lived for him in some time, and are completely surrounded by evil. All their friends are evil. Their world is all evil. And I'm called to not just give them deliverance and guide them through that process, but also teach them self-deliverance, how to get clean, stay clean, and get other people clean, right? How to get free, stay free, and set other people free. And, I do that on a one-on-one basis. And it's kind of what I've been doing instead of doing this channel. What God ordains, he sustains. The money dried up on the channel here. I'm not doing exorcism for money or anything, but it just seems like God's moving me into a more like active physical ministry than doing this so much on the internet. But I could be wrong. I could just be facing trials. I know I haven't been making content because I've been busy. What's everybody talking about here? So Honest Man's talking about Reformed Calvinist. I kind of almost fallen into that. Like, one of my mentors used to say, whatever kingdom you live in on this earth is the kingdom you will be in the next life. So if you are in the kingdom of God now and you live in the kingdom of God now, even if you're not perfect, even if you're on the peripheral, even if it's just a decision, even if your own lifestyle is in opposition to the decision you made, as long as you made that decision and you're stepping ever towards that goal, right? Then, that makes you one of us, right? Because everybody else has decided against that. They're going the opposite direction, right? The elect, that's who's left now, the elect. And one might even say that only the souls that got incarnated here were ones that had already made that decision before we ever came here. Like, I've just never not been saved, in my opinion. I've been sinful. I've been away from God. I've been walking the wrong direction for a while, but I never felt disconnected from God, not since people had to explain to me the relationship I already had to God doctrinally, that I had it before I knew what they were talking about as a kid, as a little child. Yeah, I've been moved on to the active duty roster. I really have, and it doesn't surprise me. I may have got off on the exorcism in Catholicism, but there's this red alert going out that, 100 times the normal amount of exorcisms are going on right now. And it just tells you where we're at, that this is the end time. This is the fight. I don't believe in a secret rapture. I believe in the rapture and the resurrection and all of this taking place at the same time. And then what we're seeing is the gathering of forces in the final battle of Armageddon and the lead up to it. Thanks, Mark. It's good to have you live in the room. We all make the choice. Good and evil cannot make you choose. Right. That's what about free will is all about, right? But I think we kind of come into this world aligned already. That's just a Calvinist point of view I've just finally gravitated towards. I don't believe in deathbed confessions. I don't believe in deathbed, chances. If you lived your life and you want to get grace in the last 30 seconds of your life, you're probably not going to find it. because I told you the key to getting grace is giving grace. One of the reasons I am non-judgmental and I don't go at people's sin at all, and I just look the other way if I see it, is because I'm in need of grace. Right? I'm a carnal man in need of grace, and so I know that I can't get grace if I don't offer grace. So that's, yeah, predestination. I don't know that I buy total predestination, except in the way that it was meant, that if you came into this life loving Jesus, you're going to go out of this life loving Jesus. And if you came into this life loving the devil and evil, you're going to go out of this life loving the devil and evil. Everything else is unscripted. That's my opinion. Good night, Lance Corporal. Have a good daytime sleep. I hate having to sleep during the day. He's working the night shift. What else we got here? Beanie and beard on fleek. I don't even know what fleek is. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Don't forget to go buy my Teespring store. It isn't even about making money at this point at the Teespring store. I want y'all to see. I spent some time. I ain't the best designer, but I come up with some good ideas. And I got more to come. But I think all y'all need to have that Let's Go Brandon and the horse you rode in on coffee cup or t-shirt, because I think we need to get that spread around. It's pretty funny to me. This is the end. This is the end time. It's pretty clear. I've never seen a step up in evil like this. Never heard of it in the past. I have this theory that as long as 51% of the people are good on this earth, then goodness prevails. The good guy wins. Right is always vindicated in the end. Justice will get around to you eventually. But when that flips, when now 51% of the people in the world are evil and having evil intent, then now there is no justice. There is no peace. There is no good guy winning in the end. The good guy finishes last. Crime does pay. It's like the scripture that says in the end time, what is righteous will become unrighteous. What is evil will become righteous, or something. It's just what good will become bad and bad will become good. That happens like a polar shift, right? Like a pole shift on a planet, and the water starts running the other direction down the toilet. Okay. And so that's kind of what I believe is happening in the world, that 51% of the people are now evil. And so crime does pay. Good guys are going to prison. People aren't getting their rights. People aren't being treated correctly. People are being dominated. And before, the trend was more towards the positive, and now the trend is clearly towards the negative. And, that's why a lot of us are just skipping out of the whole beast system and finding us a little chunk of heaven and watching the leaves fall in the fall and come back in the spring. Okay, so I had to sell my house to make ends meet after losing career to the venom. Wow. What southern states would I suggest moving to? Well, Texas is compromised. I know for a fact that Texans now are trying to get out of Texas. And part of it is the influx of outsiders has taken what was before a good economy to where you can buy houses, a good real estate economy, I guess, where you could buy houses and land relatively affordably. And now the prices are through the roof and everything's 6 figures and above. You can't find any small place to live on the cheap. So I would recommend other places like rural Oklahoma, Missouri. If you want something closer to the east, I hear Tennessee is pretty good. I got a viewer there who's got a homestead in Tennessee. Had lunch with him on the way back from Richmond, or late. I guess it was dinner. The sun was up when we went in and down when we came out. That's dinner. So was talking about some kind of bombing in China. I haven't heard anything about bombings in China. Yeah, I have too many roosters. I have way too many roosters. Actually, one of my hens now that I thought was a hen turned out to be some kind of rooster. So, when you get chicks that are supposed to be all hens, I got almost 30 chicks, and 5 of them turned out to be roosters. That's not good. I know I should eat them, but yeah, Oklahoma, Missouri, Tennessee. Yeah, every place else is kind of flipping, really. I hear New Hampshire is a place on the East Coast, which is actually a better place to be, I suppose. But as far as Western states, I feel like I'm right smack dab in the middle of Happy Town right here. John Rice is he's in the comments section doing a great job at describing what's called preterism. I was a preterist for a while. Preterists believed that the book of Revelations was a coded book of Revelation, was a coded message to the church at that time describing what the plans were for Jerusalem, and that everything happened in 70 AD when Titus sacked Jerusalem, and that all of the depravities and things described in the book of Revelation in imagery was all already fulfilled. Used to believe that, went down that road. Sorry, just don't make sense. And I've been further down deeper in it since then, and I've disproven my own preterism. It's an interesting theory. One value of preterism is you don't worry about it, because then what are you left with if you don't believe in preterism and the end time concept of the Antichrist and the 7-year tribulation period and the end of time and the sheep and the goats? Then what you're left with is what's called a kingdom doctrine, where you believe that Jesus will return triumphantly when we bring the entire earth under the control of the kingdom of God. And so that's the two competing arguments. And I've been on both sides of that fence, and it's what's happening now in the spirit realm. It's the release of the demons. It's this total disruption in spiritual energy that all of us are picking up on. That more than anything, this gaslighting, this lie upon lie, the takeover of these communists who don't even make sense, and the stuff that they say and do, it just all smacks of the demonic, and it just looks like a giant release of the demonic, which is described in the book of Revelation as something that would be happening at the end of time. And so I actually went back and looked at all of the preterist concepts in the kingdom doctrine and decided that I actually am a post-tribulation rapturist, which is what I'm trying to say is this has been the doctrine of the church from the beginning. Post-tribulation rapture with at the end of the tribulation period, and all variants are really just sub-theories. So they're talking about this chip. Matt Jones is talking about a chip that they're trying to use to make the mark. So, Mr. Vampire Slayer, look, we do not make this about race. You seem to be having a very definitive anti-Semitic bend to your discussion. And what we subscribe to here is the more broader concept of the Illuminati. We don't blame anybody's heritage. There are bad guys and good guys of every race. There's people that you are disparaging here in some of your comments that are actually on our side, a lot of them. And so this is good versus evil. So I'm going to ask you once to withdraw from the current kind of thing you're doing in the channel. And I don't know if I've got if I've got a moderator in the room. I think he had to go to work. So I may just take a moment and deal with you myself, because I can do that from right here. So just dial it back. If you want to be part of the conversation, that's great. If you want to go on the attack, I'm going to let these guys all get you while I'm trying to delete you forever from the page, from the channel. So I just don't, it's counterproductive to make this about any particular nation or race. The corruption is across the board. So Hondow or Honeydew, I don't know. Okay, so wants to talk to me about a topic, you can always email me at the sageland2019 at outlook.com. Sageland2019 at outlook.com. It's also in my about section. It's at the bottom of some videos, but also in the general about on my channel page. So yeah, email me. I'm not great about getting back to you on all of those. Sometimes they, so yeah, okay. I answered that, but Vampire's now talking. Oh, you're still here? Oh, I got Space Girl and Steven in the room. Right on. Just yeah. And if you really want to have a conversation about this, you should probably go back and watch my videos about the Khazarian Empire, the Khazar. I think they're Khazars. I don't know. It's been a long time ago, but these people you're talking about aren't really even the people you're naming, right? They're a bunch of imposters within that organization. They infiltrated what you might call uh, the Jewish world at that time, took it over to some degree, and have now spread out their hand. But most of them are European by blood, nearly all of them. They're connected to the Rothschilds, which means Red Shield, which is connected directly to the Khazarian Empire, and that whole decision to become Jews to avoid getting in the Arab or the Muslim versus Christian conflict. They took a political turn. They never gave up their religion. They aren't what they claim to be, but we also don't go hating a whole race of people because some people who call themselves that are actually blamed for a lot of this. But it's spread out to every race, creed, and color of people now. It really has nothing to do with the state of Israel. Ooh, Mark the Kind said, do you think abomination of desolation is happening right now in regards to the jab corrupting the temple of man? No, but that's a good coffee talk. Don't. Um, Honestly, I think that when they take control of the churches, what's happening in Canada, that is uh, the thing you're talking about was the absolution of desolation of, I don't know, abomination of desolation. That's it. What realm? What is my realm? What world do I belong to? Well, I live in the kingdom of God. It exists here. We're all, most of us, members of the kingdom of God, and yeah, and I trounce the kingdom of darkness on a daily basis, and for that I've been targeted. My family's been destroyed. My children won't talk to me. I live in a cabin out here in the middle of nowhere because I punch the devil straight in the nose every time I get a chance, and he can't get me, but he tries to get everybody around me. So if you like me, you ought to stay prayed up because he'll come after you just because you like me. Kenosha Will Burn. Yeah, we talked about it earlier in the stream. I'm just hanging out now. We're just talking, but we talked about how expect mass violence and probably in Kenosha and other places as well when our friend Kyle is rightfully exonerated of these charges. There will be a left backlash. It probably won't really kick into high gear until the weekend. I think I just did, Charles. Kenosha Will Burn. Yep, that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing from everywhere. Is put this white supremacist in prison for defending himself, or the whole country's going to be set to flame again, starting in Kenosha. That's pretty straightforward. Sir Johnson, I'm not sure what that VMA2 AT2 is. I'll have to look that up. Send me a link or something. I'll check it out. New World Order to install one pope. Jesuit collusion. Well, you could probably go back and find some of my videos where I talked in detail about how the Catholic Church has been hijacked by the Illuminati some time ago. And I'm not one of these people that screams, it's the Jesuits or it's the Israel or it's everything. The evil's loose in the world. It's got lots of faces. And the Pope we have right now is undoubtedly the anti-Pope. I mean, this guy is the final black Pope that is talked about in Catholic prophecy. It all coincides with and helps me believe that we are in fact in the end times because it's the first Jesuit Pope in the history of the world. And the world's going right down the crapper while he's sitting on the throne. You think that's a quinky dink? Don't think so. Not enough coffee to swallow that. At least people won't be as afraid to defend themselves again, assuming they get a not guilty verdict. Um, yeah, I think most people have the old saying in mind. I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. Right? I'm going to defend myself and I don't give a flip what anybody else thinks. I don't even care if it's legal. If I feel like my life is in danger, it just got legal for me to defend myself in all 50 states as far as I'm concerned. And I will absolutely not hesitate to do it. Let's see. I was speaking of death, or was it non sequitur? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and analyze this stuff post game here. I'm just getting segments of the conversation here. Chuck Norris Gun Club, which is a great freaking name, by the way. I love all those Chuck Norris jokes. I do not understand fear of death. The kingdom of heaven is much greater than this world. Well, it just sounds to me like you know who you are. When you know who you are, then you realize what I realize, that I know for a fact I existed before this life. I exist in this life, and I will exist when this life is over. That this body is just a vehicle. It's just like a car. When my car breaks down and it's no longer able to be repaired, I'm going to get a new car and the drive keeps going, right? It's because I'm the driver, not the car. And that's how I feel about this world. It's temporary, it's temporal. Much greater things are at stake always. If you choose the path of least resistance to cater to this body, to this physicality, to these needs and desires and animal instinct, you'll flat miss the kingdom of heaven, because you have to actually overcome all of this before you can really enter into the kingdom of heaven. And Jesus made that clear. And there's lots of ways that we all have to overcome. Part of it is just knowing who you are. When you know who you are, you know where you're going, you know where you've been. Hell and all its demons can't separate me from God, and they never will. And I'm absolutely confident of where I'm going. And it's not some heaven where there's harps and we all lay around on clouds with little fat baby angels. I go from mission to mission in this life as a fighter for the kingdom of light and a destroyer of the kingdom of darkness. And whatever God has for me in the next life, the next car I get to drive is going to be about the same thing, because that's my mission. How is my wonderful woman friend doing? Well, we had some drama. Learn how to get along with old Sage Wanderer is a difficult task for a California girl. If anybody hadn't figured out, I'm the guy in charge, or I'll be all alone by myself out here in the woods. And I'm a dominant person, and I'm not. I describe myself as a gentle dom. Like I believe in a benevolent dictatorship, which can be hard even for somebody who's made the decision they no longer want soy boys from the West Coast who will roll over and do whatever they say and run at the first sign of trouble. But they want a real man who'll stand between them and life and death situations, be a leader. But sometimes that's hard to adjust to. So in the adjustment process, she bounced out on me for 7 days. In a moment of confession, I'll tell you, I'm so in love with this woman. When she bounced out of my life for 7 days, I spent 6 of them very, very intoxicated on Jack Daniels. Not perfect, just like you. I'm just a regular guy. Difference is I admit to my stuff. Almost cussed too. It's a sin fest for Sage Day. Okay. So you sent me that. I'll check my email today, hon. Let's see what's going on here. Is there any chance for a fair 24 election? Absolutely not. I can't believe we won in Virginia. It must have just been such an overwhelming landslide that they couldn't concoct enough fake ballots to win, because the fix is in. They got away with it. Why would they stop the cheating now? We have to win by so much they can't out-cheat us. I mean, they can't manufacture more ballots if the vast majority, the overwhelming majority of people go enough with this stuff. And I think they jumped the shark so bad when they went after parents who were protesting this stuff at school board meetings and started calling them terrorists. Oh, Lord, did they make a mistake there. That was just the dumbest of dumb. And that's what caused these last wins. Hopefully we can push it like that. I mean, Biden is so clearly, what? Give me a break. The guy can't hold his bowels or a conversation. I'm going to start calling him President Poopy Pants. From now on, we're not calling him Iden Bay or by his actual name. From here on, I doth bequeath, whatever. I'm being so silly right now. I'm going to label him forever, permanently change his name to President Poopy Pants. And so President Poopy Pants, how did he get elected the first time? And now that we see what we got, how is he ever going to get reelected? If it doesn't go red wave in 2024, then we're just up against never, ever having a chance again. Ooh, Mark the Kind says, have I ever done a video or talk on a three-headed eagle prophecy in Esdras? No, and it sounds interesting. It sounds like worthy of a coffee talk. If you send me a link on that, I'll definitely check it out. Do they push did they push Brandon? I guess that's his other name, Brandon Poopy Pants. Are they going to push him out before the midterms? Um, you know what? I don't think so. I think they're just going to let him sit up there, and he's easily controlled. And now they can just blame it all on him. I mean, understand that's a perfect scapegoat. They can always go back and go, he was mentally ill, and that's why all this stuff happened, because he wasn't 100%. And we tried to work around it, but he was just, he was out of it. And, he needed his butt wiped. Apparently, they wiped my butt. They wiped my butt. They wiped my butt. You see that video? Hey, y'all, I recently got roasted pretty good on some channel. I stumbled across it where they were making fun of I got in a street fight video. And what cracks me, and I love that kind of stuff because they spent the whole time just making fun of how I look. Accuse me of plucking my eyebrows or manscaping my eyebrows or something. I don't know. Catherine, my lovely, lovely woman in my life, I fall short of calling her a wife because I haven't quite got the money to get the ring and make that all happen, but that's on the agenda. We might as well be married. I believe that we have already committed to each other. But anyway, I got a leaf in my coffee. That is not cool. Fall. That is not cool. I don't know. I'm rambling everywhere. I'm all over the place. Sage is all over the place today. But at least I'm here, right? I've made an appearance. I don't know what's up with Kamala. Everybody hates her, but she's never done anything. Maybe that's why they hate her. I mean, I hardly ever see her. But no, I was talking about these guys that were they spent all their time making fun of me, my delivery of the story, the way I look. There was a young black woman on there though. I know what it looks like when you're getting represented, right? Like she's giving me the necessary nod of the hat because she says, I mean, you guys can talk a lot, but you can tell this guy, he still takes care of himself. He's still got it going on. So I'm like, she likes me. But the rest of them were making fun of me. What makes me mad is they had a genuine Brazilian jiu-jitsu expert on that panel of like 5 people that were roasting my video, and they never got around to letting him analyze the fight. I was hoping. So if any of you guys, you know what I'm talking about, you guys, you got that channel where 4 out of 5 of you talk about stuff, and the 4 out of 5 of you are missing a chromosome. You got this one regular guy who's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. I would like to know what he thought about the fight summary. If you ever just let it run, let me ramble. I know I ramble on a lot. That's okay. Some people like me. Actually, I was cracking up at them the whole time, making fun of me. I'm actually a good sport. Let's see here. Sir Johnson, you're cracking me up. Yes, President Poopy Pants flew halfway across the world to crap on the Pope. Well, he couldn't have picked a better guy. What's up, Autotron? Northern New Mexico. Well, you guys are about to be experiencing winter already. I'm sure you're already getting some winter weather. All right, I guess that was saying goodbye, Zach, or maybe hello. Anyway, recognizing you. Thanks for watching. What happened to the old trailer and van down by the river? So the van down by the river became property of my ex by default. I just gave her the title and went, do what you're going to do with it. There was some point they were talking about giving it to my son to live in, but apparently it's just parked out behind my aunt's house going to seed. My ex-wife moved in with my cousin, apparently. That's what I'm hearing, that my cousin, closest thing to my brother, the minute I got out of there and came to Texas, they went, and now they're cohabitating at his place with my kid living in some other trailer in the back. I don't know. Nobody talks to me. How's Radar? Radar's doing fine. He's got 2 buddies, Bully and Tuco. I have a 3-dog bulldog system of protection around this place, and they are on the job, although I had to put in an electric fence to keep them from digging unders, but they're finally contained with the power of electricity. So what happened? That's what happened to the old trailer. I guess the old trailer you're talking about is the one that I left it behind on the property I sold. I just got what I wanted out of it. Catherine, you've been with me for a long time. Hey, Riker, what's up? Long time no see. Yeah, I'm just kind of rambling. I haven't been on in a long time. I've talked since I'm just rambling. You guys are still hanging there with me. Um, I went on this grand adventure with Catherine. We went to California. I swore I'd never go to California. I told her, you're making me go behind enemy lines. She knows the channel. She's a super fan from 4 years ago, all the way up till we met. And still now she's a partner in the channel behind the scenes, helping me with Teespring and other stuff. But MP says my eyebrows look nice today. Well, thank you. They're freshly plucked, apparently. Catherine says they just grow naturally like that because that's how they are. They just naturally look good. She said girls would kill for your eyebrows, apparently. But yeah, we went to California. We went to a place that every sign calls themselves the cowboy capital of the world. Can you believe there's a town of Oakdale, California, who has oh, thank you, Unclean Hero. I appreciate that. Need the help there. Thank you for the tip. Money's been tight. I'm selling my possessions essentially, and also trying to do some flipping of other stuff. So if you want to follow Unclean Heroes, Unclean Heroes, that's what that is. If you want to follow his example and help me out, that'd be great. Every little bit helps. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the trip to California. These people in Oakdale. Now I understand that that's where that part of California in the San Joaquin Valley is where, I think that's north of Modesto, where rodeo first got its heels in apparently and got hooked. But I just couldn't believe as a Texan walking around there, I wanted to tell them, like, I can probably bring about 25 Texans down here that would like to start a fight over why you guys can call yourself the cowboy capital of the world when everybody knows the cowboy capital of the world is Fort Worth, Texas. Just undisputed. Gotta be. It's gotta be. There's Catherine looking beautiful in her pink top, my favorite top. Come say hi.
Okay. Oh,
there she is.
Hi, everyone.
Just out here live streaming, waiting for you to get all beautiful. It worked, right? She got all beautiful.
I tried.
So yeah, we went to California. We went to your high school reunion. Like we were the it couple, right? Hey, if any of y'all watching that's from her peeps, don't get offended, but we were totally the it couple. I wish I had that cool snazzy leather sports coat I inherited from my musician friend who passed away.
Oh, right.
I wish I'd had that for the party.
He looks really good in it.
I got this musician buddy that was always a big guy, but for a while he got thin, and he just went out and bought a bunch of clothes, all these fancy clothes and shoes and everything, when he's the size I am now, and it didn't last very long, and he blew up, and all this stuff just got tags on it and everything, and I ended up acquiring that from his estate. The lovely Mrs. Sage. Yes. But yeah, we were the it couple. It was catered. It was a fun time. And then I did the Herculean task. We did it together. But this is a woman here that has acquired a lifetime of stuff. And every time her life changes, and it's changed many times, she just kind of rents a new storage unit and stuffs it all in there. It wasn't that bad. She had
one and a half. Small one.
There was 2 storage units. One was small, one was big, and then half of your stuff was in your sister's storage unit right next to it because she's just like her. And so it was, I think the whole trip was 11 days out to California and back. Some of the videos I made, the most recent videos I made, were made from a hotel room on the way to California. What we had to do on that trip, oh, thanks, Bull Rush, I appreciate that. Any of y'all wanting to, gosh, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Hi, Space Girl. She said hi.
I lose my place all the time looking at I get all scattered looking at the comments coming in.
Mrs. Wanderer, good morning. John Bletcher. Hi.
But yeah, it was an 11-day trip.
Yeah.
Some of the videos I made came from a hotel room on the way out there. At the very beginning of that, we scheduled in your high school reunion. And because I'm a little younger than the other men there, and plus I'm just holding up good. And this one here, you know what? Guess away at her age. You'll never guess how old this woman is. Anyway, but we were definitely the most ambulatory of people in the room. We got it couple status just by walking unassisted, right? Oh, I'm picking on old people. Hey, I finally found some people older than me. Right? I'm used to being the oldest person in the room. But dang, if we didn't hit that those 2.5 storage units, and it took us 5 days instead of the scheduled 2 days, and it was grueling. It was just like crazy, to the point where I had to get back to my animals because I didn't have anybody taking care of my animals, and I had allotted enough food and water for them for the given time, and I was out of time. So when we rolled out of that there at the end of the 5th day, I just drove us straight through till noon the next day. She took over for a few hours while I napped, and then I took us and drove us the rest of the way till 5 o'clock in the morning. So we made the whole trip in without stopping. We made the whole trip without stopping. We stopped to get gas. That was it. But what a crazy situation. I will say this. I had no idea that California stunk so bad. Like, that was the takeaway. I always thought, hey, there's flowers. There's it's known for roses and oranges. And it just straight smooth up stunk from Oakdale all the way to Sacramento. Every time I rolled the window down, I'm like, you smell that? That's the smell of California. Literally stinks. It smells like the panhandle of Texas. And it shouldn't, because there's not that many cows there. It's not cow poop, I'm afraid.
There are lots of dairies, ranches, orchards with, all the manure or the fertilizer.
Homeless people pooping on the sidewalk. Not in Oakdale. I don't know. There was a few. We because we didn't get hotels ahead of time, and there was all this stuff going on the weekend we were in Oakdale. We had to stay in a bunch of hotels. What was the one we stayed in? We're going to give them a shout out for being crazy. Was it the
Holiday
Hotel? It's not the Holiday Motel. Apparently, most of the people live there.
Yeah.
There were definitely all kinds of nefarious side hustles going on in various rooms. And it was crazy because this is funny, we didn't have a shower head when we got in our room. There was no shower head. And so she goes to the office to ask for a shower head. And somebody says, oh, no, they stole it again. Apparently, they always have a problem with people stealing the shower heads. And then they give us the shower head. And now I know why they steal it, because we were tempted to steal it. Because it's got some kind of weird motor in it that generates electricity. And when you turn out the light, it sends disco lights into the shower. No wonder people are stealing your shower heads. All right. What are people talking about here? Yeah. Food delivery for earning money. Yes. Red Pill. Actually, you're way behind on that. I'm an Uber Eats driver. I just haven't done it in a while. I kind of prefer. Well, since COVID, it just hasn't been fun. Right? Just for various reasons. Oh, your mom says every woman is always 29. Well, I lost the live stream. What happened?
That was it, I guess.
Oh, we're back. Something took control of my computer. Like a skull and crossbones popped up, and then opened up another window, and I don't know. Being hacked. Sage is being hacked. Oh, I'm messing up my... Here, let me turn it this way. Messing everything up. We're just hanging out. I never do this. I never just hang out and talk.
It's nice.
Catherine Toon says maybe they can create voter integrity in some places. Bullrush Bear says a disco Sage album would be great. Actually, I'm very good at creating disco. I'm really better at creating techno dance music. I can just spit that out all day long. Mostly just with one finger.
My niece likes it.
Sorry.
Sophia likes that. My niece.
She does that? She likes that?
She loves techno.
I actually made a techno album. I just never released it. I've made an album of every kind and only released a couple. See you later, John. Thanks for hanging out. Once again, if you guys want to help me out at the Teespring store, you want to help me out on Patreon or PayPal, I figured out finally how to make a Patreon video. And so I'm going to try to make a special Patreon video for my 4 patrons. So if you're one of those 4 people, or if you want to run over there and join real quick, I'm going to start doing some very personal videos where we talk about some of this stuff for reals, like no censors, because it's all inside of Patreon. I'm going to take advantage of doing that. You can't make any money with Uber unless you have a 4-cylinder car. Well, I mean, you know what? It just depends. Honestly, not really. I've seen guys do it with trucks. It's just, it does cut into your margin a little bit. But what really makes the difference with doing Uber Eats or any food delivery is get it there hot, right? I use food bags. insulated food bags that like pizza delivery drivers use to keep the food hot. In the summertime, I put an ice chest in the back and put their drinks inside an ice chest to keep them from getting watered down. So when they get the stuff, it looks good, it tastes good, it looks right, and then get it there as fast as you can and then be super friendly. Just be super friendly. Nowadays, you don't have that option because I guess everything is remote now. You drop it and ring the doorbell and run like a kid doing a poop in the bag prank, setting the crap on fire on the front porch and not stomping it. Never done that. I do look happy. Charm, hey, Charmin. What is up with you? Or should I say Mandolin? You changed your name to Mandolin from Charmin. But you're Charmin here. That's got to be who this is. My friend from Oregon. I got some splaining to do now that you're in the room and we're just like chilling. I can tell you, you guys were in town and you wanted to see me. And I'll admit to being just in such a weird place. I couldn't see anybody. Like I don't often get shut down by my own emotional stuff or where I was at, but that was kind of the end of that 2 years for me. And I got a little cray from isolation. And I had a little, like the first time I went to the Brick, I sat in the parking lot. First time I went, I didn't go. I got all dressed. I sat in the parking lot and went, I can't go in there. I can't be around people. I don't know how to do it anymore. I've been alone for 2 years, right? I mean, in total isolation for 2 years. And so when you guys came to town, it was like that. I just couldn't do it. I felt so awful. And I owe you an apology because I would love to have seen you. I just, I don't even, it's not even depression. It's more like agoraphobia. I had to get out of that to find my lovely woman here. Right. Space Girl says, if more than 50% of the voters show up and vote Republican, Trump would win. It would be difficult to explain double the population voting. Right. Well, that kind of happened with the 2000, was it the 2020 election? 2019 election, I guess. How many watts is your amp? Crank to 10 out there. I don't know what that means. My amp goes to 11. My amp is always going to be louder than yours because your amp only goes to 10 and my amp goes to 11. Shout out to anybody who knows what that's from. Not you. I know you know what that's from. So Red Pill's saying that on Grubhub, she's doing $22 an hour with a Mazda Miata. That's a good combo. With my little Corolla, I did really well. You know, I don't think I did better than maybe 18, 19, except around the holidays when I got some giant tips. Charm says, I was always cray, but it's all good. We're looking at Texas, Oklahoma tour next summer, and maybe we can see you then. Well, guess what? I'm putting my studio back together. I'm getting my music back on track. And I would love to play with you guys if you have any dates, Charmin, in Texas and Oklahoma. And I'd love to appear there as Sage Wanderer and play with you again because, you know, we got the kind of connection where I can just roll right into your music. I feel your jams and it just works. We work together. We're getting leaved on here. Leaves falling on us everywhere.
It's fun.
Pathfinder says correctly, Spinal Tap. Stephen Turner too, Spinal Tap. That's right. My amp goes to 11. It'll always be louder than your amp. So funny. So funny. Well, guys, I've been on here like an hour and 13. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to ask any questions if you want to spawn anything new. I think I've jabbered on about my own self. I've just been trying to start a new business. I got a new relationship, been traveling around. You know, I had a friend die down in Texas. I had to make a couple trips down there because of that. One of my musician buddies died. Right on, Charm. Absolutely. Bull Rush wants to play tambourine in my band. You can't because I double on tambourine. I'm sorry. I already got tambourine fully covered. Cowbell, too, before you get any ideas. Project Veritas. Oh, yeah. That was ridiculous what happened to Project Veritas. They swatted Project Veritas, seized all of his stuff. And I haven't had a chance to look into too much into the details of why they say they did it. But apparently it had something to do with Biden's daughter's diary. Like somebody had published it and they were claiming that they had stolen it and that's what they were looking for. So yeah, don't know what's up with that, why they did it. I know they did it. You can't attack journalists and steal stuff right out of their, pertinent information and give it to the. That's the thing. They stole stuff from the raid, right? They took stuff legally from the raid and then turned it over to the New York Times, who were in a lawsuit with Project Veritas. So you've got the FBI raiding Project Veritas, taking documents that'll help the New York Times case, apparently, or could, and giving it to them. Maybe that's the whole purpose of the raid. They're just cracking down on free speech. They're going to come after the churches. They're going to come after YouTubers like me. They are and will continue to step it up, coming after journalists who are not employed by the mainstream media and told what to say. Yeah, it is weird how they're taking a crime where everyone there was white, the victim was white, the shooter was white in Kenosha, and somehow it's racial. Somehow it has to do with white supremacy. How? I don't understand all that. All right, guys, it looks like we're kind of slowed down. I could just sit here all day and talk to Bulrush Bear. He cracks me up. But we'll see you guys next time. I'm going to try to come and do this more often. And I just been crazy busy. I've had 2 close friends pass away over the summer. I've had a trip to California, 1 down to Galveston, and 2 or 3 to Texas, 3 to Texas, and 1 to Colorado. So I've been running and busy. I'm kind of back on for the winter. I hope to make more videos and more live streams. I'm kind of just into this hanging out and talking with my people. But support this channel if you want me to have more time, because the time I spend away from this channel, a lot of times it's chasing money to pay bills. And so, but yeah, I'm selling my stuff. I got a truck. I'm selling my guitar collection, trading some guns to pay the bills, that kind of thing. So any help you guys can do, PayPal, Patreon, go to the Teespring store and pick up some cool t-shirts like Let's Go Brandon and the horse he rode in on. I'm sorry. Don't you think that's funny? No one thinks that's funny but me. It's anyway. All right. Right on. I agree with most of the stuff that's being said here. There's all happy goodbyes. Everyone's saying goodbye. Goodbye, y'all. Love y'all. And did Catherine cut her hair? Yes, and continuously. She's just always cutting on it. It's just she's never happy with it. And I keep telling her it's never going to grow out if you just keep making it shorter. All right. We'll see you guys next time on the Sage and Catherine show, apparently. I'm going to click the end stream now. All right. Bye, y'all.